So the next morning after recording a whole bunch of little snippets as I was trying to make a house, I'm not going to include the 2 45 minutes of the random Zoe just going around in the house, and I noticed things I want to change at this point, so I'm probably just going to start over from scratch. Is In a nutshell, I was thinking of this concept, um, but you know, this was just again about as haphazard as let me just put some walls in there for the sake of putting stuff in, because I was more interested in this part at the time. Um, and while I was creating the Zoe house, I was also thinking the opposite of this, of trying to make the smallest, cheapest house I could make that has the most stuff in it. And those are kind of contradictory things. So I should start over again and make one house for this, one house as small and convenient as possible, and then kind of go from there. Um, but I did exit the game properly at the end of that, and it's still trying to shut down, I guess. The only way, I mean, even when the game crashes, the only way to convince the thing to stop is to right click Steam down here and exit Steam, and then it forces the process to end. I don't know what that is, but nothing else has had issues with the configuration I've had on this computer, so I'm just guessing that maybe something is trying to save somewhere for values that don't exist yet, or maybe something like that, and it's just in a forever loop while trying to shut down. Because it'll sit like this for hours and just never get anywhere. Um, in fact, I'm gonna do that right now. Exit Steam. Is Go into Process Manager, and there isn't an inZOI process for me to end. I just have to do that. Take a note of this and say, okay, when is the spikes in the CPU end? And all right, now I can open the program again and start over again. Um, so the next 28 minutes and change is just me fussing around with the building creator. As I figure things out, it's probably incredibly boring. Um, I mean, there's a few things I figured out about laying out houses, but again, uh, I'm the massive pile of sticky notes needs to happen so it can be compressed into a convenient video that isn't wasting people's time unless they just want to see what the game looks like. So with that, as I wander back over to inZOI, um, it's a cool game. It is absolutely a work in progress. Um, so with that, onto the multiple clips of random notes and whatnot. All right, so yeah, I think I don't know what an S1 is, but this is like the smallest square that they had on the graph paper. And this kitchen is so incomplete, but I'm just thinking as a starter, you want all of your wet stuff on one wall. Originally, I was thinking of having a couple of more counters here and then the bathroom further down or something like that, but the more I think about it, I think the bathroom's going to be on the other side of this wall. And I'm going to have to move all of this up to the other side so that this is the outside wall. Yeah. I may actually move the stove over there too so that you know, it's a tighter working area. Is the original idea I had for this eons ago. You had one person over here working on like the cold cuts and the stuff from the fridge and rinsing vegetables. Convenient place for the dishwasher. The original idea was 2 counters on one side with like a drawer-based fridge and freezer underneath it. And then it would be stove oven with 3 counters over here for prepping stuff, or maybe a counter, stove, counter, or something like that with lots of room to work with. So you have one person working on the hot stuff, one person working on the cold stuff, and then like a table behind them that they can be flipping things around. And I'm even thinking, you know, the trash can here needs to be a little closer to here maybe, but you know, that's gonna, people are gonna be tripping over that, so I don't know. Maybe I'll delete this one and put another trash can there. So, you know, convenience. But we'll sort it out. The problem I have right now is counting squares, and I gotta recalculate this off of this wall and count squares over to wherever it is and make a wall here to put the sink and stuff on. And then rebuild all of this. Yeah, I don't know. And I really didn't want a wall there. I wanted this to be like a table with a couple of cabinets on one end kind of thing. But yeah, that's like super designer expensive custom thing that doesn't exist, so we'll go with this. See how it goes. Couldn't find a coffee maker, but, you know, I'm not that surprised. I mean, they got some stuff, but it's clearly a work in progress. More importantly is the plumbing and where the stuff, you know, the permanent fixtures are. Oh, that was the other thing. The original kitchen design I had, the microwave was above the stove, but when I put that set of stuff behind the stove, it raised this up way higher than it should. Oh, I don't know if I have these cabinets too low on the wall or... But normally you got like, you know, a short one there, a short one here, and a short one here. Window behind the sink classic kind of thing, but... Yeah, this became very necessary once I started putting, like, you know, the dish drying there, the toaster, the microwave, a couple of other things there. This counter filled up real fast. So, juggling act of, you know, things being within reach of the person trying to get to the fridge for the sauce for what's cooking versus enough counter space to work with. And in one video, there was like an information thing over here that's not here anymore. It's a known bugs thing. which, yeah, it's a work in progress. I would so love to go into like the information thing and say this is temp 1. Let me save it so I can go and count squares and figure things out. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3, and then you got an extra one there in front of each of these, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and I guess 4 squares is a meter. So, we'll figure it out. Yeah, real quick. There it is. So, you've got the dishwasher, you've got the sink, you've got the freezer and the fridge kind of thing, and then you got the stove with a couple more counters to work on, and then you've got this here as a cupboards facing that way. Just shelves with the table for chairs to go around kind of thing. And then I was thinking like recycle trash or whatever down that way. And then on the other side of this wall going that way, because, you know, wet, well, your bathroom's over that way. That keeps your, you know, your plumbing as short as possible for like cost effectiveness rather than pipes going all over the house kind of thing. The angled wall thing was more like a different idea about like hurricane tornado resistance. And I don't know too many people that enjoy super deep upper cupboards, but you know, it is what it is, and I don't expect inZOI to be doing angled walls. It's more the rest of the kitchen layout I was going to look at and then extend that to the house for, like, just general layout-like thing. Well, this is unfortunate. I wanted the faucets on that end, but the only way to get in the tub, on all of the tubs, is on this side here. So you have to rotate it around so that you can get in. And then it conflicts with that, even if it shouldn't. So we'll just have to pretend that the sink is there and the toilet is one over. So you have the full, you know, room to be able to sit on that without being mushed between the wall and the sink. So close to having, you know, sink, dishwasher, toilet, sink, bathtub, all the plumbing on one wall. So close. Oh well. Did manage to get the arrangement a little closer to what I had in that that render. And that render, yeah, there's no faucet on that. This was like simple geometry to kind of get the idea of the shape and where I wanted things to be, and see if it would work with the angled walls. But mostly I just want to lay it out and then look at the rest of the house layout maybe and see how the ZOIs wander around and use the thing. I was kind of hoping that I could have a hallway going here to the yard this way, maybe. You know, obviously a wall here, but you know, I'm looking at this saying, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's slightly shy of 6 squares from the regular house. And I could probably move everything down get rid of the trash can in the corner there, maybe, but I started from the center here and worked my way down. I was like, alright, so mostly this is just trying to figure out how big these pieces are and what the limitations are working with it. And the dining room table slash prep table isn't exactly as it was in the idea draft, but close enough. I mean, you got an extra counter there to work with to throw things on, and then you can sit around here and eat. There's a place to put another trash can, so you're within arm's reach of throwing trash while working with vegetables, maybe. We'll just pretend that the counter continues on this way, and this is one of those drawer things under here. But I'm looking at this, and probably easier if I just go to place another one. You know, I'm not seeing any codes there for flipping it horizontally. I can rotate it so the faucet is there. It doesn't complain, but as soon as I go to put the wall in, it will. Yeah, I don't know. Figure something out, maybe. Maybe I can throw it in like that. Yeah, whatever. I'll figure it out. Oh, I was looking for a cabinet to put in a corner here to put like towels and things on, and I just remembered what those other boxes were at the far end. The rest of the things that consume water and need drainage. Maybe we'll make like a little outhouse out that way. I don't know. I've quickly discovered that the S1 square, which after counting it is 32 squares, which 4 squares per meter. That's 8 by 8 meters. It's like in British Imperial, that's like a 24 by 24. That is not a house. That is a shed. So I'm working on S2, and I haven't counted the squares yet, but yeah, this is first time figuring it out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something about that, maybe. Although, I'm guessing maybe there's laundry mats? Possibly? I mean, I don't know. Be nice to have your own washing machine, though. So, try to figure out where the, yeah, it's somewhere here. Well, I think I've got something going here. There's a lot of things I'm not sure about. And like, the hallway was 6 squares wide. This is only 4. I think the door is like 4 as well. That might be iffy there. To get around the corner, I had to shrink the wall down because that was really close there. But you got some basic exercise, you got some hobby, you got computer, printer, phone, alarm clock. Yeah, some basic inspiration. A little more exercise. Bedroom. Yeah, I could work on that a lot, but I think I got the basic essentials of you got a mirror to look at, you got a clock there, you got the alarm clock next to the bed, you got a couple of places to put your clothes. Random picture on the wall. There's literally just a random pic. Getting around this table here might be a little bit iffy, but there's room this way at least. It let me put this table here. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah. Just ignore the washing machine and dryer sitting on the wrong wall. It belongs over here. Make that a wet wall. Although I could probably put it over here on the other side of the bathroom. I think my original idea was you had the kitchen here, so you had this wet wall. Bathtub's backwards because you have to enter from one side. And then I was gonna have another bathroom over here is like the whatever you call it for the master bedroom. But I ran out of room with this S1 by S2 layout. So it just ended up being a door to the backyard, basically. Picture like a little driveway here, maybe. I don't know. And it game crashed when I had all of this laid out already, and I started putting things on the desk, and the game crashed. And it's a work in progress, I guess. But and if I got this right, got light there. Got light in the bathroom. You got the requirements. You got your towel rack and other things, storage, toiletries, trash can. It wouldn't let me put the trash can here because I guess something in front of the toilet needed room. I could only put it like out here. So it ended up there, but in reality it ended up right there. But this bathroom is a complete. We're pretending this is over here. We're pretending this is right there. We're pretending this is over one. You know, theoretically it should work, but it ended up being squeezed like that. So this is where I guess I save this, and then I go ahead and grab a generic ZOI. I'll fuss with making characters later, and I'll see what's missing from this house. There's two things I'm kind of thinking of. Is it's gotta be affordable enough. Yeah, I was really thinking about the CRT tube. They got one of those. It's the living room. I was really thinking about, like, the ancient CRT thing. Yeah, that one. Probably black and white, though. Oh. That's kind of extravagant. These lights here were kind of expensive, along with these two. Again, work in progress. What I originally wanted to do was have lights under the counters there. And there was a big counter across here as well, with a light under it to illuminate the counter, so as you're leaning over and working on stuff, you're not blocking the light from behind you. And I tried to get these ones as close as I could to being over the counter. But honestly, that's right at the spot where when you're leaning over the counter, your head is going to be between here and the light. Really needs to be under there, but they didn't have anything like that. So compromise. I could probably find something better here for like illuminated light to like light up your face as you're like cleaning or doing whatever, but good enough. The attempt is there. There's probably a lot of stuff that I'm not thinking about. Because with a game like this, there is a lot of... You can't just tell your ZOI to go do something, probably, without, like, the stuff available to do it. And there is a lot of really miscellaneous stuff in here that I don't even, like, know what to do with yet. A recycle bin. The only recycle bin I could find was like the outdoor one. So put that in the backyard, maybe, I don't know. Hand wash. They don't have dish soap, do they? Maybe they do. There was like a pile of stuff called, yeah, bathroom supply set. I'm kind of hoping that that's like a little bit of everything that you'd need in there. So, I guess with that, I could probably do way better. Count 4 over, 4 over, 4 back. Make a cube. 'Cause that was the other thing I was thinking of, was if I have a standard frame, the actual part that holds the building up of a specific size, what can I do within there to... I was kind of half thinking of the hallway and the bathroom being within one unit, and then there'd be another unit over here, but S1 width. Yeah, that's... From this wall over to here is okay, but I don't have the same distance again to work with. Unless it go larger. So it's kind of counter to trying to make the place cheap enough to afford. Gotta tinker with it a lot more, but for just first attempt fussing around with this, first time ever, there was a little bit of time that there was ground out here on the S2 square, and then when I went to close off the bathroom, this floor became a separate floor and the ground outside went away. So I probably broke this way back at the beginning and I have to do it again. I don't know if there's a way to undo that. If I delete a wall, it'll probably mess things up. Yeah, I don't know. So apparently I can go like that. I can select that. And it should be like the entire outside. And then I can go and do the stone that I first attempted to do. Oh, well. Some reason that looks worse than I thought it might. Yeah, that's... Yeah, something about that is just too industrial. Yo, thank you. Ceramic tile. Kind of don't want to go with the regular slats. Reclaim blue brick. Oh, there you go. Alright, we'll go with that. Pity whatever Zoe ends up in here.